Hello everyone, it's video blog time. I'm going to be starting a new format for my video blog. As you know, if you watch my video blogs, I kind of always sit in the same spot, and I change it up sometimes, but it's got a certain look. I throw out the video blogs in a certain way. Well, this is the new way that I'm gonna do it from now on, and I know I made a video yesterday where I talked about how I'm trying to do with as much as I can, like content-wise, while recording my new album. That's what I'm up to right now. And if you want to see the making of the album, go to my Instagram, and there it's on my IGTV. So I'm on the second installment. It's kind of boring so far. It's just me kind of explaining where I'm at, but it'll get more interesting. And when I'm done, in case you don't want to go to my Instagram, when I'm done, I'll get all the videos that were used for the making of the album. If it's 10 or 15, I don't know, I'll put them all together and upload it to my YouTube channel in one whole video, probably a really long video, but it is what it is. So yeah, either way, it'll make its way to my YouTube channel. So I'm making a record, and that's what I've been up to. So I kind of want to find a way to still upload my video blog and just my content. I want to make content for my YouTube channel, so got to find a way to do it. So I think this would be a really good way of keeping my video blog going while I pretty much just come up with content on the fly, you know what I mean, like as I go. And maybe there are other people that do it this way also, but I don't know, I haven't seen anyone that does it like this. But it's a big internet, so I'm sure there are other people that do it this way also. So this is how I'm going to do it. I'm on the computer right now. You can't see the screen, but so I'll pick a website or a social network for the most part, Facebook, Yahoo, or I don't know, it could be anything from BuzzFeed to InfoWars to YouTube to Tumblr, whatever. So I mentioned InfoWars and BuzzFeed because they're completely different. So basically what I mean is it could be anything that that has news or social network, whatever. And I'll pick one for each video blog, and I'll just kind of scroll through it, and that will give me the subjects I want to talk about as I go in real time. So I don't have to think about it throughout the day. It's very, very just, random. But not so random, because for example, today I'm scrolling through my YouTube feed, and if you are on YouTube, things change all the time. The way they throw videos out change all the time. And lately I've noticed that you'll see a random video that's well, you know what? I haven't even watched videos like that, and they're sending that to me. So it's it's interesting, Of course, there are also a lot of videos that they recommend to me because of videos I have watched, of course. It's not always exactly right, or something like that, but it's pretty close. But yeah, I've noticed lately there's some new stuff that's they're trying to push something or whatever. But I think it could be interesting. We'll see. For example, okay, the first video I see here is an ASMR video. I have vlogged about ASMR. Oh, and you know what? Before I even go forward, this doesn't mean that I won't have set subjects every now and then where I break away from this. But for the most part, I want to do it this way from now on. If I have a new subject about the whole DIY entertainment world that I tend to vlog about, I don't want to rush those vlogs because I feel they should have quality. And I feel when I do my do-it-yourself advice videos, I always have a subject around it, So if I don't have a subject, I don't want to force it, because it needs to actually make sense and have be worth something. I always say grain of salt, but technically I would like it to be worth a little more than a grain of salt, but just take it with a grain of salt. So anyways, back to this. So today is YouTube, my YouTube timeline. Let's see. ASMR video. Like I said, I have vlogged about it before. If you're not familiar, ASMR is I won't watch my video blog about it, but just really fast. It's people that make really soft sounds to relax you, I guess. To me, it's kind of like meditation in a way, but not quite. It's not as full of a thing as meditation. It's just a simple, like, I don't know, it's kind of like just like a tool you can use to just relax, or just kind of like hear, you know, when you hear like just relaxing music, you know, like maybe a piano or just maybe some jazz. I know people tend to say that jazz is very relaxing, well, certain kinds at least. So ASMR is like that. There's all different kinds of content makers. ASMR Glow is the content maker that they're throwing at me. I don't think I'm subscribed to her. Let me see. Oh no, I am actually. Yeah, that's right. This girl, like, her quality is absolutely insane, and that's the thing. Like there's so many different kinds of like ASMR artists. I've noticed like some can use an iPhone or just a phone, and it's just as potent when it comes to ASMR as like somebody was really, really high quality. Now she's got 440,000 subscribers, so that's definitely working for her. But yeah, I've seen her videos. They're super, super high quality. You know, not higher than like this, but just joking. Yeah, let's see what else. But no, I like ASMR. I haven't been using it since my baby's been around too much, because I just haven't had the time, to be honest. When I get in bed, I'm so tired that, yeah, there's like, I used to throw my earphones on, and it's just like, you know, I have to get lucky just to like make a video like this. And that's actually why I'm doing this, because I feel like this works better for my schedule, instead of having to think of something and then get it right, you know. Anyways, Scott's bass lessons. I'm a bass player, I'm a singer, of course. I play all the instruments, and when I record music, I record all my own instruments for this solo project, at least. I subscribed to Scott's bass lessons a while back. An incredible YouTube channel about, I mean, he had all kinds of videos, but it's safe to say he's a virtuoso on the bass. He's incredible, and he has some really cool interviews with people, some tips on just simple bass tips and not so simple bass tips, all over the place. Everything bass, and yeah, really cool channel. I always freak out. Like, let me see, he has 542,000 subscribers. Wow! Like, I can't believe there's that many people that are into bass, like, that would subscribe. I mean, that's great. That's an awesome thing. That's amazing. Wow. Well, it's a really good channel if you like bass. You know what? A lot of people sign on to my YouTube channel because of my Hofner videos. Well, if you sign on to I sign on because of my Hofner videos, and you don't follow Scott's bass lessons, you need to check it out. Because I can tell you this much, his videos are a lot higher quality than my bass videos. I don't mean for this to be like, you know, just me recommending different channels, but I'm on this is YouTube today, so, you know, it's gonna come with the territory. Let's see, what else? This is kind of cool, you know? Kind of gives me, my own music. I came upon my own music. Chris Guy Topic. Yeah, my songs. By the way, if you're discovering my channel through this video, I am a pop rock artist. You can check out my music on the Chris Guy Music playlist. New songs all the way to my old songs. They're all there. Yeah. All right, here's my first political. I told myself if political stuff comes up here that I want to talk about, hey, I'm gonna talk about it. Styx Hexenhammer 666. Yeah, it sounds a little daunting when you hear the name, but this guy is an incredible. I hope I say this correctly. An incredible forecaster for politics. Like, this guy called the election by like 3 or 4, maybe about 6 points, like 6. He got the score almost right on, more right on than almost anybody else I saw in mainstream TV. And he talks about a lot of different subjects from you know, politics in America and around the world. And he's got a little different array of topics he talks about. A very, very unique character when it comes to politics, and like I said, lots of different things. He's an incredibly smart individual. Like, for real, if you want to hear someone dissect U.S. politics and just, you know, I may even say the culture, like culture in America and politics and just everyday big events that are going on in this country, check out Styx Hexenhammer. He's got an incredible mind for an incredible vocabulary for this sort of thing, and you won't regret it. Yeah, I'm subscribed because, and you never really know where he's gonna go, like, because he's very smart and like he thinks of things that like I wouldn't think of. So it's very useful to follow him. So yeah. So see, what have I talked about so far? ASMR, Styx Hexenhammer. What else? Oh, Scott's bass lessons. I'm not just recommending people, but it is what it is. Michael Jackson. I was watching some Michael Jackson videos a couple days ago, and I came across, like, I'm a big Jackson fan, so I came across some videos where they were talking about the relationship he had with Prince, or lack of, but how they would kind of rip on each other, you know, without like ever really like working together or anything, or just like meeting each other. I'm sure they met each other, but it's a funny thing because it got me thinking about like the brilliance of these two different musicians and how they are. Now, don't get mad at me here, but I think they are equally talented in the things that they do. Like, they're just so different. Like, Michael, with his perfectionist, that his music was so squeaky clean, and the production quality was just so like way ahead of its time. And of course, he worked with Quincy Jones early on, of course, through those first big albums. But I mean, that was him, you know, and everything was just perfect. His vocals, his dancing, his image, bombastic, right? But then you look at Prince, who's equally bombastic in a very, I don't want to say not perfect way, because it's perfect for him, right? But it was a little more raw, a little more rock and roll, right? A little more dirty. And I mean, it is what it is, man. There's people that like both of them, you know. I like them both. I'm a little more partial to Jackson's songs, but at the same time, Prince is like a sound. Which is kind of weird because he jumped around sound-wise more than Michael, in my opinion. Yet, he kind of, like, his songs were, how can I say, like, the Prince sound. Even if he had songs that kind of were recorded almost in just a real rock kind of sound, or maybe a funk sound, or a real glossy pop sound, it was Prince. It was that sound, you know. Yet his sound quality just was so different all the time, and I kind of feel like he not the opposite, but if Michael was that squeaky clean perfectionist, Prince was this edgy kind of dirty, like, let's see what happens if I do this, you know. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's kind of what I see, and they're so different, but they're equally as brilliant. I mean, yeah, I mean, they gave the world so much awesome music, and one of a kind entertainers, man. Let's see, what else? Joe Rogan. I suppose Joe Rogan's like the biggest show now for interviews. Like, I mean, it's where you want to go if you want to do an interview, and I think what he does really well is he tries to get behind, like, he wants to know what's behind your reasoning, you know. He's really good at that. He can soften the mood, and it can just be like playful, and then he can get on you, you know. He can get on you for he may not agree with you, he may get stern with you, but his interviews are just one of a kind. I mean, he's really on top of his game right now, man. So that's why I'm subscribed. And all sorts of people he gets, you know. He kind of he identifies, I believe, somewhere in the, I mean, don't quote me on this, but somewhat democratic, somewhat Democrat-like, but or liberal, but he doesn't go so far left to the point where a lot of times it almost sounds he's sounding kind of conservative, or to the right, you know, because he tries to get behind why things are the way they are. He can sound like that, but then he goes back and, you know, he's like, well, this is what I am, you know. But he challenges his own thinking. He challenges his guests, and he gets people from the left, from the right, scientists and doctors and celebrities and all sorts of people, and it's really, really interesting. I've learned a lot from the Joe Rogan podcast. Not to mention, he's a a great athlete and a pretty much a lethal weapon, you know, a walking lethal weapon. So yeah, really cool show. Oh, hey, by the way, if you're in ASMR, if you like ASMR, uh, you know, you don't want to. Sorry if I'm jumping around, but you know that's the way it is here. So you hear ASMR, right? It's like really quiet, and you know they whisper. Uh, but just to like balance, because I'm all about balance. I don't want to like to be obsessed with anything in particular. I just want to like uh, balance with the things that I like, so that I'm not overdoing anything in particular. But if you want to like balance out ASMR, well, for one, don't hear it too much. Another thing is hear it on different speakers. And it's not about high quality or low quality. It's about changing it up. That's why it's so effective when you first hear it, because you've never heard something like that before. It's like the rain falling, right? If it fell all the time, you maybe would get tired of it. But when it falls, you're like, oh, I like that. So if you want to offset ASMR, subscribe to Robert Frank, the weightlifter. Motivational character he has, where he's screaming in his car. He looks like a super buff, and he's like, rah, 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 rah. Yeah, that's amazing. I'm subscribed to Robert Frank because he's got really cool content even outside of that character. Actually, it's really cool content. But that character is just so motivating. Like it really, really is. Like he's puffing himself up. It's a character, but at the same time, like the stuff he says, like, man, I've seen some hour-long videos about motivation and when it comes to health. This guy gets it done in like 1 minute. Like that's amazing. Like. And so if you want to like fire yourself up out of the ASMR, check out Robert Frank, man. Cool channel, man. And it makes me want to, what did he say? Take those 300 or whatever weight ride on the inclines. Yeah, I definitely want to do some inclines after hearing some of those videos. That's cool. Let's see what else. I also am a fan of a good conspiracy video every now and then. I have this thing where I don't have to believe anything I'm watching. I can be like, that's interesting. Oh, wow, that's really cool. Kind of sound like Joe Rogan here. That's interesting. And then at the end of the video, yeah, that was full of crap. I can do that. I can hear different ideas and weigh it out at the end, And one of the videos that got thrown out to me recently, because I had maybe watched a couple conspiracy videos, was the Paul McCartney is dead conspiracy. And don't get me wrong, like it's as entertainment value, it's great. Like I can watch something like that and be entertained and think, hey, you know what, that's what it is in the end, it's entertainment. But when you really get behind like the belief system of something like that, like that is not a conspiracy I care to believe at all. I mean, it's to me, it's completely 100% false. Like I know they do these, like they compare these photos. They compare his personality before, he supposedly died and the new guy took over. By the way, the new guy plays bass just like the old guy, and he sings just like the old guy. He's got the same eyebrows, he's got the same face. He is the same guy. Paul is Paul. He's always been the same Paul. I'm not so sure why this, like, someone could be this into it where they have to prove that Paul is Fall, however you pronounce it. But interesting, yes. True, absolutely not. Like, talented musicians are hard to come by. I mean, look at what happens when singers have to be replaced, and they have to get another singer. A lot of times, a completely different singer. I mean, they're not always going for an exact replacement, but even if they do, they're not going to find it. It's going to find someone who maybe sounds a lot like I remember when Judas Priest replaced Rob Halford with Tim Ripper Owens. He sounded a lot like Halford, but then the longer he was in, you're like, well, actually, he sounds nothing like Halford. But, he for a while, he kind of sounded like him a little bit, but it's totally different, looks totally different. And he's got his own sound too, and then obviously Rob came back later. But it's really hard to find, like, people to replace like that. I mean, he got surgery. I'm like, no, I mean, think about this for a second. They are identical. Like, they're identical. And those photos that you put on those videos, like, they're very, like say, like, oh, look at the photo here, he's sideways, right? And well, check out this other photo where he's sideways and his nose is different. It's like, yeah, his mouth is also open, like, and then the first one it's not. Like, if you change your face um, the emotion on your face, your features will look different. You know, if I'm like this, and then if I go, my nose will kind of make a different shape, and it's so slight, but it's enough to where they're like, hey, look, see, it's different. It's not, my friends. The Paul is dead. They were having some fun. You know, they were having some fun and whatever else goes along with it in terms of like maybe they were just look. When you're in a band, I mean, I've done things with bands where it's like, hey, let's just leave that in the album, or oh, you know, let's have that, or let's have that. It's fun, and I think that's what that was. And in this internet age, you know, but hey, you know what? It's entertaining, but yeah, I'm sorry. Hey, you know what? I'm not sorry. I love Paul McCartney. I'm glad he's still Paul McCartney. So yeah, don't believe that one. And that takes me to my final subject here. Flat Earth. I've definitely watched a couple Flat Earth videos. And I can tell you that, once again, I love science, I love nature, I love astronomy. Do governments deceive their people? Do different agencies and different powerful entertainment companies deceive people? Yeah, all the time. All the time. Do I believe flat Earth? Absolutely not. I do not. Entertaining videos, once again, for many different reasons, and I've watched more videos than I probably should. My wife is like, why you watch that if you don't believe it? I'm like, it's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting in the same way that, like, I have this habit of hearing bad songs, like they're the song I don't like. I tend to want to hear it, you know, like I hate that song, but then I'm like, I want to hear it, you know. It's kind of like that. And I don't know. It's just kind of funny to see what they come up with. And I'm not saying I even make fun. I'm not making fun of the world of flat Earth. I'm just saying, like, it's you know what they did. You know what's so interesting to me? And you may say, Chris, yeah, you know, scientists can give you a reason why the Earth is round. Like, no, you don't have to convince me. I'm convinced from day one. You know, the globe is a globe, right? But the most interesting aspect to me, I think, that keeps me every now and then tuning back in to see what they're talking about, is that no matter how many scientists in this world we have, no matter how many technologies we have, you still cannot prove them wrong, really. Like, you can prove them wrong to yourself, but you can't prove the flat earther wrong. Like, notice that. Like, I've seen all these sort of movements happen. Like, there's a movement right now where people are leaving the extreme liberal side over, and what is it called? I don't know exactly what it's called. The walk away movement, and you know, people are leaving that. Then there's, you know, all sorts of movements. Like, there's, as far as I can see, there, maybe I'm wrong, if there's some, link them in the comments. There isn't any, like, leaving the flat earther movement. Like, maybe it's because it's new. It actually is not new at all, but it's just one of those things where like it's kind of come back, and it's like, okay, back to my point. I've never really seen one say, hey, you know what, scientists, that's true. That's true. I don't believe it anymore. I've never seen that. Never seen it. And that intrigues me. Like, I've heard all sorts of scientists give great, not theories, but great hard facts on why the globe is a globe, but it never works. It's like, no. It's this. It's, oh, well, you know, the ships vanished behind the horizon. They're like, sea swell. I'm like, oh, well, I've never heard of that one, but oh, you know, whatever. I'm not saying I know a lot. I'm just saying that from what I know, it's not even a question. But the fact that you can't turn any of these people, like, is the most interesting aspect to me. To me, you know what it is? It is the same argument of, like, when you talk to a kid and they're like, why? And you're like, oh, well, because of this. And then they're like, well, why? And then because of this. Well, why? And it just never ends. A kid that keeps on saying why. That's, to me, is exactly what a flat earther or a conspiracy that, like, out of, you know, reason, that's how it runs on. The why. Like, well, why? Well, could it be? And the why in the flat earth world is the word lie. Because I know Rogan kind of said something similar to this on one of his podcasts. He's the whole thing of like, you can't prove someone wrong that just keeps on saying you're lying, because there's no end to that. It's like the kid that keeps on saying why. You could say, well, you know what, like NASA's taken countless photos and all the other agencies around the world. Yeah, but they lie, they say. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's some fibs and there's some, I don't know if fibs is the right way to put it. Maybe there's some, it's not completely transparent what they're doing, right? But just to say like, oh, they lie about this and lie about this. Like people that work at NASA are normal people too, like they have families, they have, their families to go home to. It's their job. Like, I mean, to think that there's this like global conspiracy that have gone, throughout time, and the main thing is to keep the Earth that's flat a secret. Because I've heard some people say, well, it's because then that proves God. I'm like, yeah, but there are a lot of people that believe in God that don't believe in a 6-7 day creation period. There's a lot of people that say, well, yeah, but it's silly to think that God would base creation off of the human 24-hour day before humans were even made. You know what I mean? When he's infinite. Like, I totally get that idea. And I think there's tons of areas where they talk about different days in the Bible, and those days they stand for a big period of time. So maybe the first day was, a huge period of time. The second day was a huge period of time. And they're called days. But of course, some people do believe in the creationist of 6-7 days. So I think that what's happening here is a lot. Well, at least there's atheist flat earthers too, but in terms of the Christian one, it kind of makes them feel more like, well, this goes with the Bible more. And I would argue that that's not necessarily true. And the one thing that I noticed, I know I'm on this for a while, but the one thing that I noticed does tend to like, they all give different answers too. So I could say it's the first chink in the armor of the flat Earth that I've seen, is that when people say, why is this the big secret? Like, why is this the big secret? Like, elite big secret, right? That the Earth is flat. You just see different answers all over the place. So I'm like, see, that's it right there. That's the big, like, chink in the armor. Why the big, because it makes you not believe in God. No, it doesn't. It doesn't at all. And so why would that, if elite people or throughout time didn't want people to believe in God, I suppose there'd be different ways to go about it other than hiding the flat Earth, I mean, this was an issue. People thought it was flat at some other points too, but it was discovered that it wasn't. I'm into astronomy. I love astronomy. I'm not that good at it, or I'm a very low amateur at astronomy. But I have a good telescope, a professional. No, I'm sorry, take it back. I have a good amateur, but a good one. Telescope. I go out all the time and look at Jupiter and Saturn and other, somewhat deep space objects on my telescope, and it's beautiful. I love it. And by the way, in the words of the Elon Musk quote, where he said something about there isn't a flat Earth Mars society, it's one of those things. I mean, all I see is round planets and round satellites, and you can see Jupiter's satellites. They're round as can be, Of course, they're whatever shape they are. Some of them are a little asteroid looking, I don't know the Jupiter, but yeah, got all these moons. You can see them. They're round, just like the moon. And all. I'm sorry that this is a subject, but hey, I've watched a few videos and it's intriguing. Not because I have any doubts about it, which I don't have any doubts about it, but it's intriguing because it's amazing that this is a subject right now, And look, there's a lot of conspiracies. I do believe there's a lot of conspiracies that shouldn't even be conspiracies. They should just be truth at this point. But that one and the Paul one, yeah, are definitely not on that. They don't fall into that side of conspiracy. They're not on the, oh, I believe that. They're on the, yeah, okay. And there's a lot of other ones, like the Mandela effect and all the other ones that, like, I've never seen anything with the Mandela effect that tells me, like, that it's real. You know, it always seems to be some sort of, like, explanation that, like, well, you know, it's because people, I've told so many people about it, like, just because it's intriguing, like, hey, remember that movie Sinbad made where he was the genie? And everyone is like, oh yeah. And I'm like, yeah, it didn't exist. Nah, no, what? Wait, what? I gotta check IMDb. And everyone didn't. But it's like, you know, it's just like, it's the science of how a lot of people can believe one thing because they're not paying attention that much. You know, it's a small thing. That is what I feel the Mandela effect is. It's just kind of like something that, like, you're not paying attention, so it's like for some reason all people categorize those thoughts that way. And it's interesting. It's another one that I don't quite believe. I know that there are some people have taken it far to the point to where it's actually biblical too. But I don't know. Maybe those scriptures that they use to signify about the Mandela effect mean something slightly different that we haven't really gotten to yet. By the way, I should mention that I am a Christian. I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness, and now I'm kind of at this point where I kind of just identify as Christian, even though I still have a lot of love and for the JW faith. It's attacked a lot on YouTube, and you know, I know there's some arguments with it, of course, but I just say I'm a Christian now. But yeah, that's where I'll stop there with that, and I'll talk about that more in the future. But just for today, I kind of want to move along. I spent a long time on the flat Earth and the Paul thing and the Mandela thing. I'm sorry, but I have watched some of those videos. I am not a believer in any three of those. Just to solidify that. Let's see what else what will I end with here? Here's a good one. Here's a nice, charming way to end this one. We Sing. I never heard of We Sing. We Sing is it's a children's entertainment, like, you know, like Barney, like Mr. Rogers. But I never heard of it. And then when my daughter was born, like, there was one day where I was like in bed and she was asleep too, and I would keep my phone going with the nursery rhymes, and I heard this crazy singing, like, brown potato, and I was like, check your history. I gotta see what that is later. So when we woke up later, I looked at my history, and it was We Sing, and that's spelled W-E-E, Sing. And I had never heard of it, but it was pretty big in the 90s from what I see. And they make little small movies that are quite charming, to be honest. My daughter loved them for a long time, and we'll still watch them occasionally. Like these 45 to hour movies, and they're just charming. They're just silly enough to get you to laugh, and they're like just corny enough to, like, but not too corny to where you don't want to watch it. They're just corny enough, and they're just silly enough, and just charming enough to work. And yeah, we have fun with those, especially the We Sing Train and the We Sing Grandpa's. What was it? Grandpa's something. Yeah. Those are really good. Let's see. We Sing. What's the name of the second one we watched last? We Sing. Grandpa's Magical Toys. That one. Yeah, those two we watch a lot. All right, that's pretty good for today. This is what I want to do. Just kind of talk about things. I'll try to not take so long on them. Like, I spent a little too much time on the conspiracy stuff. I don't want you to think that I in particular, those three subjects, like they consume me by any means. But yeah, the funny thing is, man, we keep like our phones on nowadays. I try to not, like, when I get in the car and drive somewhere, sometimes I just try to like think instead, because it's like, you know how it is, like you want to have a vlog going or you want to have some music going. It's like, sometimes I just need to like not hear anything. But because I have that going, there's so many different kinds of videos, like the Joe Rogan, Sticks, Hex, and Hammer. Then there's like comedy stuff. Then there's music. There's all sorts of stuff, you know. Vlogs from people that I've never seen before, people with no subscribers, people with a million subscribers. You know, it's so crazy how entertainment is now with YouTube. and different social networks. Anyways, that's about it. Maybe next time I'll go through Facebook, and the experience will be different all the time because I'm kind of talking about what's going on right in front of me, you know. So that's what's cool about it. Anyways, if you stumbled upon this video, man, Switzerland is so beautiful. I've been seeing these videos that have been popping up like on Facebook, so I searched it on YouTube. My goodness, these houses like surrounded by the Swiss mountains, the Alps. You, Roger Federer, you grew up in a beautiful place. So yeah, that's it. I hope you found it interesting. Until next time, rock on.